Navigating through the energies of New Earth is not an easy process and can become extremely overwhelming at times. As we all ascend into higher frequencies, we're all being guided to embrace our own unique divine pathway, a pathway created in the vibration of love. Join Vibe Nation radio host, international psychic medium Carrie Turcotte, as she guides her listeners to rediscover themselves by accessing the keys of knowledge that already exist within. Each week's show is divinely orchestrated to intertwine with the universal energies, allowing the listeners to go deeper within and understand the message being shared even greater. When you live in the frequency of love, there is no competition, so Carrie will be joined regularly by fellow soul family members who will bring forth wisdom and knowledge she knows should be shared on a global level. At the end of each show, Carrie will tap into the energies of the listeners to see what message Spirit wants to share with all those listening in for the upcoming week. If you really want to get to know who you truly are, come and join us now on Vibe Nation Radio, here on the IOM Radio Network.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to Vibe Nation Radio. And today I have a very special guest. His name is Paul Avgerinos, and he is a Grammy winner. He's an artist, a producer, and an engineer. And there's so much more to Paul than what you just see out there. He's got such a beautiful soul, such beautiful love. And I'm so looking forward to talking to him today with regards to living in grace. Paul, are you there?
I am here, Carrie. Thanks so much for having me on.
Oh, thank you for joining us. I am so looking forward to listening to your words of wisdom about living in grace and how you came about, with grace and how you got your Grammy.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Well, it's definitely an ongoing process, as we all know. We follow our spiritual path and we do our work and do the best we can. And somehow, by the grace of God, we make progress. It's just such a miracle. It
is. And your music is broadcasted all over the world, and you have 22 albums now?
Something like that. I guess it depends. Yeah.
You've lost count, have you? You're just going with the spirit, are you?
Just going with the flow, exactly.
And you channel a lot of your music, correct?
I do. I do a lot of invocation and prayer and channeling before I start working and then while I'm working. And especially if I run into a difficult patch, which I did about 10 minutes ago in the studio, where I'm saying, well, why isn't this working? Or why isn't that happening? So that's one of the best times to invoke the spirit, invoke your higher powers and your guides and your channel into grace, because that's the time when we really should dig the deepest, and then also when we're really happy and when things are going perfectly, it's a wonderful time to give thanks for that.
Yes,
that graceful presence. So, good times or bad times, it doesn't really matter. The grace is the same, and the love of God is always present in us and for us. And so that's what we do, we just stay in the present as much as we can.
Absolutely. And right now, those who are listening, we all know that we've got 5 planets that are currently in retrograde. And this is actually creating an energy vortex for all of us to go deep within, to be able to find the grace within, to be able to release that which no longer serves us any purpose. And I just, with what grace is all about. Grace is about, opening up within. And Paul actually lives with the words of AMMA, correct? This is something you're you live in AMMA, correct?
Yes, AMMA is at the heart of my life, day and night. I'm always chanting my guru mantra, which she gave me in India. And I'm always reading her books and thinking about her and saying, well, how would Amma deal with this situation? And what would Amma say? And how would she handle this? And that's just so wonderful to have that magnitude of a teacher present in your life, especially for someone like me who can easily get upset by little things and get all wound up, and all these planets in retrograde, it's definitely affecting me. I can feel it.
Oh, it's affecting me too.
Yeah, I definitely feel it. It's a lot of powerful energy. It's almost like pulling on you, and but of course what you have to do is let it pull you deeper within, and instead of pulling you out into the crazy outer world, let it awaken you, remind you of how critical it is to always be awakening to that inner divinity, that inner grace, that the self, as the Hindus call it, the Atman, just to keep focusing on that. And then that strong retrograde energy can actually be an accelerant. It can be like a fuel, like a rocket fuel, which it can push us even deeper into our truth. And it's a little scary sometimes, I have to say, but it's the only game in town, really.
Yes. Well, and we all know that by going within and dealing with what needs to be released, it is going to bring us grace, because we're going to be able to release that which no longer serves us.
Yes.
And with the retrograde taking place, this is all about the you're revisiting, you're releasing, it's kind of like you're realigning yourself with who you truly are, especially with so many planets in retrograde. This is a time where, the universe is basically saying for the next 3 months, go within, find yourself, find who you are, and bring out that power and allow the world to see who you truly are.
Yeah, it's very interesting, too, that this is happening in the springtime, for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere. And, often we associate the springtime with going outward, where we go outside, we reach out, we do more outward activities, have parties and things, and, but in this case, we got to use that energy to grow spiritually and to revisit these blockages, that we've been struggling with for many lifetimes.
Mm-hmm. And for those that are listening in, as you can tell already, Paul is very deep when it comes to the spiritual living, and he does believe in past lives. And it's with the retrogrades that are going through right now, that is what's happening. A lot of us are tapping into those energies that do come from lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. But now with the new energies of New Earth, we are not to bring those lower vibrations with us to be able to live in grace. And I know that through Paul's music myself, and just to let you know, those that are listening, the meditation that we were going to do today, because of technical difficulties due to retrogrades. Yeah, we've been having some fun with this. We are actually going to put it on. I will be on my website at carrieturcott.com within the next 24 hours, so that you guys will be able to go in, because we want to make sure you hear the acoustics that go along with his music, because it's more than just going into a guided meditation and listening to the words that I'm channeling. It's about finding how do I want to say this? Your music, it speaks to the cells of your body. and I noticed that when I was doing it, when I listened to your music, I transform into this beautiful light. Oh. And it's the vibrations that you use, the acoustics that it speaks to the soul.
Well, that just warms my heart to no end, because that's exactly my intention when I make this music. Is my dream, my goal is always to make a music that has a visceral impact, that, the actual sound of the music will evoke that transcendent experience in you. It's just a direct connection right to the heart, without having to have any translation or explanation. And so that's just wonderful to hear. That's why I've been doing this all my life, and will keep doing this blessed art form, because what greater blessing is there than to be able to help your fellow brother and sister, your fellow man, a little bit on their journey, to offer a little comfort, a little solace, and maybe to help them on their spiritual path and with their difficulties, because most people in this world have harder lives than I do. I'm very blessed and very lucky to be able to do music and live in a nice, peaceful place. And so, what better use of my time than to try to help in my own way, Mm-hmm. We all serve in the way that God given us the gift. You have this amazing ability to read energy and read into another's life, their soul life, which is a fabulous gift, and you're doing that marvelously with thousands and thousands of people, and I'm doing the best I can do with my little gift, and that's really what it's all about. Everyone thinking of the other person. That's what makes a heaven on earth, is thinking of the other person, the other fellow, the other girl. What can I do to help them?
Yes.
Maybe there's something I can help them with, and it might be a small thing, but to them it's actually a big boon. It might really help them to turn a corner. And so, that's what AMMA teaches us, of course, and it's the same message that Jesus taught and all the great avatars have taught. So it's nothing new, but now it's a wonderfully exciting time because there's so many millions of people that are aware of this process. Mm-hmm. And so, we're approaching this critical mass that can actually transform the planet, the human life on this planet. And that's something very worthwhile. That's the upholding of Dharma, the restoration of Dharma.
Yes.
The restoration of the correct way, the way of living in love, the way of living bliss, living grace, living goodness, and keeping the ego in its proper place.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Ego as a servant of the heart. Ego is a wonderful, it's a beautiful thing, like all things, but we have to keep it in the proper perspective.
That's correct. And I think Spirit's saying, okay, let's put the ego to rest and listen to some music and go to a commercial break. And when we come back, we'll pick up where we just left off. We'll see you all soon.
Connecting you with the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Join Vibe Nation radio host, international psychic medium Carrie Turcotte, as she guides her listeners to rediscover themselves by accessing the keys of knowledge that already exist within. Each week's show is divinely orchestrated to intertwine with the universal energies, allowing the listeners to go deeper within. At the end of each show, Carrie will tap into the energies of the listeners and give a message from Spirit about the upcoming week. If you really want to get to know who you truly are, join Carrie each Monday at 3 p.m. on Vibe Nation Radio.
Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Live with medium Lisa Phoenix, Mediumship Messages and Musings, explores mediumship and all things metaphysical. Lisa Phoenix invites you to reach above and beyond your everyday experiences, to explore new dimensions in the spirit world. She will do live readings to connect callers to their loved ones in spirit, shares engaging stories and teachings from her own personal experience, and will have intriguing conversations with other mediums, spiritual teachers, and healers to help you understand the metaphysical world so you can connect to these forces in your day-to-day life. Join your host on this magical and metaphysical journey into the world of spirit every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
Bringing you the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio, your conscious lifestyle on steroids.
Welcome back to Vibe Nation Radio, where today my special guest is Paul Avgerinos. He's a Grammy winning artist, producer, and engineer. And before we went to commercial break, we were talking about working with the ego and also working with the heart chakra and the heart energy and opening up the heart to the energies that are here for us right now. And for those that follow me on a regular basis, do know that the embassy this week, as we all know, was saying that this is about a time for us to go truly within and to tap into the heart chakra and embrace the healing that is taking place right now so that we can share the love with all of those that are around us and allow them the opportunity to be able to just breathe and find stability in these crazy energies that we're going through right now. And I think this is something that I was tapping into as we were talking, Paul, when you were talking about opening up the heart chakra, and Spirit told me during the commercial to pull you back in to talk about that a little deeper.
Yes, it's all about the heart. That's really the whole journey of life. The way AMMA would say is that our journey is one out of the intellect, out of the ego, and into the heart, to drop out of the mind and drop deeply, fully into the heart, and let the heart drive all our decisions and all our words and all our actions 24/7. That's really that's the path that I think we're all being called to embrace as fully as possible.
Mm-hmm. And each one of us is a piece of the beautiful puzzle, correct? It's like, with you and I, when we instantly connected, and we know we have a soul connection from way, way, way back, many, many, many lifetimes ago.
Yes.
And we're connected to so many people on this planet, my friends, and do know that, you can just feel the love when you connect with soul brothers and sisters. It's like, there's this euphoria of energy just kind of shoots through you to open up the heart. And to know that, again, Paul is a person just like I am a person. And, it doesn't matter what we do, but when we bring that gift or that ability that we have, when we bring it together through the frequency of love, we know there's no competition, and we can bring our work together to create more magic to help that many more people.
Exactly. When your heart is opening and open, you see the divine in everyone and everything. And so that's why you feel that fabulous euphoria and that joy, because that pure spark of divinity is in you. That same spark is in me and is in all beings, mm-hmm. all the worlds. And it doesn't matter whether, it's manifesting in some fabulous way at that particular moment, or maybe it's manifesting in a way that seems confusing or even disturbing. But that the beauty is that when you look with the heart, you see only God everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I'm definitely not there yet, but I'm working on it.
Well, I think we're all on the way there, Paul, to be quite honest.
A work in progress, for sure.
Well, as I've been saying on my VI reports, is that we're all new to this. This is a brand new energies, brand new earth.
Yeah.
And we don't remember. It's not that we haven't lived in these higher frequencies before, but we don't remember in physical consciousness.
Yeah.
And
AMMA says that because we spent so many lifetimes in this, in the old lower vibration, that we became accustomed to it as thinking that it was normal and it was like real, mm-hmm. and like being separate, I'm in this body and you're in that body, and this body's going to die and then that body's going to die and then that's the end of that, that all that low vibrational thinking is, if you spend a lot of time in that, just like anything, it makes a habit, and then you think, well, that's the way life is. That's what reality is, And people like AMMA come to remind us to say, no, you're having a dream. It's kind of an unpleasant dream. You need to wake up.
Absolutely.
You're having a bad dream that's been going on for a really, really long time. But you know what? It's just a dream.
Yes, the illusions that we create, eh? It really... And I know that through experiences myself that, you talk to someone you haven't talked to 20 years and you sit down and have a conversation with them and you're like, so, what really happened between us? And they tell you their story And it sounds nothing like your story.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
It's kind of like you got common denominators going on, but that's about it.
That's hysterical. It is because, exactly. You have millions of people telling themselves these stories, and they're all dreams. They're all fantasies, and none of them are based in reality. And they're all walking around thinking, oh, that person snubbed me at the market, and then that one did this. And, they're holding on to all these grievances and feelings of separation and superiority, inferiority, all these ridiculous energy patterns that are just non-functional. They're just dysfunctional. And really, like as Eckhart Tolle would say, it's just insanity. Mm-hmm. But the funny part is when everybody agrees that that's the right way to be insane, then, they say, well, we can't be insane because we're all doing it.
We're all insane.
Yeah. But Amma says, she likes to say, you can't wake someone up who's only pretending to be sleeping.
Yes.
If they're really sleeping, you can wake them up very easily.
Yes.
But if they're committed to being asleep, if they're really into it, they're really committed to the part that they've chosen in their movie that they're making, then, then you get to free will, it's like, well, God comes in the form of an avatar, of an Amma or a Jesus, and he says, look, you guys, you all want to be happy? Here's the way. If you truly would like to be blissful and happy, this is how you do it. I'm not going to force it on you, because that's the whole beauty of the creation is, free will. It's if you want to live in suffering, okay, knock yourself out. Try it for another 10 lifetimes, and see.
How it's doing for you.
Yeah, right. How's it going for you there? How'd you like that last war,
Exactly.
The last genocide, did that do it for you? Was that what's like you were shooting for that? Was that a high point for you, So, yeah, it's a lot of compassion
yes.
but what a wonderful blessing, to be able to have a modicum of awareness and consciousness and to be able to share this with the world. It just fills me with so much joy and gratitude, that to know that there are people like you in the world and all of our friends and acquaintances and all the wonderful people that are listening that care about this and realize that this is all real stuff. And it's, really at the heart of that exquisite bliss and joy that we all long for. We all long for that, mm-hmm. that reunion, that coming home with the beloved where all is bliss, all is bliss, all is bliss, which of course is the name of a track on my new album that's almost done.
Got to feel that bliss. That's going to be good for those that are in divine union. I can feel it now. Bringing those in divine union into bliss and the higher dimensions.
Yeah.
With your music, it does bring you to that place because as a medium, I can get into 5D land pretty easily because I am a medium, but honestly, I have to be, the song Grace and Om, soon as the bells started going off, it was like, that's the embassy to me, calling me home. And I knew immediately that whatever I was about to experience, it was going to be pretty, pretty powerful. And it's because the sounds that you have, it awakens the cells within your soul to say, wake up, I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And
grace of Om. So that's the concept is that, I created a bed there there is Om chanting in it, but it's an invitation to the listener mm-hmm. to chant Om over it or to chant any mantra or invocation or affirmation that they like. They can speak it or they can sing it, however the spirit moves them. And as they do that, the grace of Om flows through them. That universal power becomes available to the listener because the listener's participating now.
Yes.
It starts with listening, but then, like any good conversation, after listening, there's a point when the circle is completed and you say, yeah, oh yeah, I love what you're saying there. Yeah, that's beautiful, Carrie. And then then it's a communication. It's a full circle. And mm-hmm. so I create a lot of music like that where I leave a lot of space because my my hope is that the listener will input themselves into that space. It's like I create this landscape of a bed for them to rest in, a beautiful palace for them to dwell in and go in there and, oh, let's go over and look at that fountain. Or maybe let's sing a little song. I haven't sung a song in 10 years. I think I want to sing, so that kind of an effort.
I find it interesting that you're talking the way that you're talking, because those that are listening that have been to the embassy in meditation, I'm sure they're like going, oh my gosh, Paul's talking about the embassy. And the meditation that I did do that will be up on my website, like I said, within the next 24 hours, it was a channeled message, my friends. I listened to the music and I allowed Spirit to channel through me to help you to be able to tap in that much further into Paul's music, and to the point that your higher self is going to talk to you towards the end about giving you that message of how to live in grace right now in these very difficult times on planet Earth, about how to go in and find the love and let go of that no longer serves you.
That's right. That's what it's all about, for sure.
Yes, it's about releasing, not suppressing. And there's so many people right now that are suppressing what is happening with them and afraid, that's the fear monster coming out to say, oh, I don't want to deal with that. We'll just push it down a little bit deeper and ignore it. And it's coming to the point that people truly need to understand that we are the co-creators of our reality.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think that we can get in a little bit deeper, because we are going to go to a commercial break in a moment. And I think what Spirit's trying to say to me is about, Paul, when we come back, how did you go within and to be able to find these abilities, to be able to start to create these music and this beautiful album that you just won the Grammy for? I mean, again, the acoustics, the music, everything that's in it, it's so... I am just I can't wait to hear Blissful. I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you. Me too.
I think that, you have so much to offer the world. And I think it's time for them to start to realize that, Paul, there's more to you than just this beautiful music. There's little tweets inside of this music that allows the person's soul to wake up. And we'll get into that when we come back, okay?
Great. Thank you.
The cutting edge of conscious radio. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
The truth is, you can't change the world if you're broke. I know. I've tried. Isn't it time you turned your life's calling into a profitable, freedom-based business? I'm Michelle Barr. Join me every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern for Sacred Success.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Hi, this is Julie Geigel.
And I'm Alicia Isaacs-Howes.
And I'm Catherine Glass.
And we're the Psychic Angel Channelers. You can find us every week here on OMTimes Radio at Angel Talk Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time.
The angels have heard your call and are here to help.
Are you ready to receive?
Remember your magnificence with Angel Talk Tuesday.
The future of Internet radio is here. OMTimes Radio. IOM-FM.
Welcome back to Vibe Nation Radio, where today I have Paul Avgerinos, who is a Grammy Award winner. And before we went to commercial break, we were getting a little bit into about how how you co-create your reality. And I think that Paul has a beautiful story to talk about because he's a brand new daddy, aren't you, with your beautiful little daughter?
Yes, I am. We have a 2-month-old, a lovely, lovely girl, Juliana Joy, who was born 12 days after I won the Grammy for Grace. So what a month that was. Oh, my gosh.
And think about this, Paul. She was born, when you look that down, that's the number 3. And there's you, your beloved, and her. That makes 3. So that's perfect.
Yeah, and we saw something else today which really blew our little minds. We were watching a new movie just made about our guru Amma, and we realized that her birthday is the 27th of September, and Juliana was born on the 27th. So we're like, woo! Oh, that's pretty cool, which you'll appreciate more after the story I'm going to tell you about her birth. So when the year before, we had a nomination for Bhakti, a Grammy nomination. And right after that, my wife Jen and I, we flew to India, to southern India, to visit Amrita Puri, which is the main ashram of Amma in southern India, to become devotees of Amma, officially become devotees, get mantras and really get with the program. So we did that, and it was a very, very powerful experience receiving the mantra from a living saint. And then a few days later, on February 20th, Amma gave us her blessing to have a baby. We asked her if she would give us that blessing because it's actually very powerful. So, after years of trying, we got pregnant in May, and my wife's due date was February 20th of the next year, of this year, 2016. And then Juliana was born wonderfully on the 27th. So this is a good story of what happens when you open your heart fully to the law of attraction, and you open your heart fully to being in grace. And, people were like, "Oh, you're going to go all the way to India to get that baby? That's an expensive baby. That's a lot of effort." But my wife had a feeling. She said, "No, we need to go to India, and we need to become disciples there, and we need to get a baby blessing there." And I said, "Well, your intuition is very powerful and almost always correct. So let's do it." And that's from a guy who was terrified even of thinking of going to India. So, I got over a lot of my fears, and we made the trip, and it was very, very amazing and wonderful. And then, of course, we had this incredible blessing from Amma. And here's our fabulous daughter, our wonderful daughter, who's enriching every moment of our lives now. So there is living in grace right there. There's a living example of it.
Yes. Well, and it's very...
It wouldn't have happened without that surrender, without that openness to the possibility.
Yes. And as you're doing this, I'm getting pulled in. You know how our conversations go, Paul.
Yeah.
And I just feel like Spirit is saying that the grace that you created with your wife and to create the child, I just want you to know that I saw a sync between us because I'm actually born in between that. I'm February 23rd.
Ah.
So it's interesting.
February's shaping up to be quite a month for me, isn't it? That's when I win Grammys and when I have divinely guided children. And, it's a pretty cool month. I always used to think that February was like a blah, blah month,
And it's now turning out to be the love month for you.
February's turning out to be the belle of the ball for sure. It's like, this is the month. Wow.
Well, and it's interesting because when I was growing up, I used to always laugh because the Grammys always seemed to happen on my birthday.
Yeah.
It's like, so what's everyone doing for Carrie's birthday? Oh, they're watching the Grammys. It's like, come on, I want to go out and party. No, we're watching the Grammys.
That's funny.
But it just goes to show the listeners that how we're all intertwined. And these are calling cards. This is what I call them, that, living in grace, it comes within. And when you're vibrating grace and love from your soul, it pulls the people that resonate in the same vibration back to you. And like I said, a lot of us have been doing the songs and dance for eons, trying to find each other again. And now this energy is allowing the True Soul families to come together, to work together, to help change humanity and shift the vibrations here on Gaia.
Yeah, it's true. It's just this amazing law of attraction on steroids. I think I studied law of attraction for about 6-7 years, recently, and it helped me a lot. But when I added the devotional love component to it, then it really started to click for me, you know, because I wasn't thinking more about, oh, well, I have a list of things I want to attract, you know, and it was just more about, you know, how can I serve love? How can I be love? How can I just want to be love and be bliss and live in grace. And then things really clicking now, picking up, the tempo has picked up a lot, and you get all these great connections that are being made, like between you and I, you and me. This, you know, this stuff is happening all over the place. So it's really exciting.
Oh, it is. And I mean, for the listeners that are listening in, those that follow me know that I do a lot of deep meditations. There's something about my voice where the spirits just come in and take over, and away we go. And, you know, I've been throwing out that I need to create my own meditation music. I'm throwing at the universe. I have my own meditation music. I've got my own meditation music. I got my own meditation music, and poof, here comes Paul.
Exactly.
And it's like, here you go. Ask and you shall receive.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we just thought when we connected how beautiful it is to be able to bring his music and to be able to bring my channel, to be able to create that meditation that we did, which again will be on the website in about 24 hours. But it just goes to show you that by bringing two frequencies that match together and you put the frequency of the work together, it makes it that much more powerful for those that are actually listening to the work that has been created. It's more like magic for the soul.
Yeah, it's true. There's a powerful synergy there when you get souls working in harmony together with a common purpose and a common goal. It's really great. It's like a well-tuned orchestra.
Yes. And we know that you've got your orchestra going in your out in your studio there, right?
Oh, yeah.
And now did you want to talk a little bit about this I know that you've got a new record coming out, correct? An album coming out, or is it just a song?
Yeah, well, I'm finishing it now. It probably won't be out till the summer. But it's a real departure for me because it's all songs, and I'm singing on all these 11 songs. There's 8 in Sanskrit and 3 in English, and by all this grace flowering in my life, I finally have the confidence to just sing in a natural way, and I can actually listen to myself now, and I feel good about this album, which is amazing because I've always struggled with my singing voice and recording it. But this album, because it's all dedicated to Amma, these are all songs praising and loving Amma and giving thanks to her and sharing her love in different ways. So, you know, it's like the small I got out of the way big time, you know, and it's just full of pure love and devotion. And for an artist, that's what it's all about. You know, we can't ask for anything more than that. It's just to get out of the way and, you know, be a channel, a big fat pipe that the real love, pure love, bliss energy can flow through, you know, without restriction. And it's kind of funny because, you know, I struggled for many years, just always instrumental music. And now it's like, well, you know, it's actually pretty easy to just sing about these things because when you use words, it's actually a little easier because you could spell it out for people. You know, it's like, you know, where there is love, there is no fear. Where there is love, there is no distance. Where there's love, there is no heartache. Where there's love, Amma is here. And you know, that's a song that was channeled by my wife. She was woken up at 4 a.m. by our guru Amma and given this whole song, complete with verse and chorus. And so she thumbed it into her phone and sent it to me. I was sleeping. So, I mean, it's just amazing, you know, the things that happen. And then a few days later, I was thinking, well, we got one song in English, so we should have another song in English because, you know, you have to balance it out. You can't have just one song and all the rest in Sanskrit. And then popped into my head, all is bliss, all is bliss. And Amma gave me this whole other song with 3 verses, a chorus, and a bridge. And it's a really cool little like reggae Indian combination. It's like soft reggae feel with the Indian flavor and and in English, so you can actually understand it. So it's yeah, I mean, who would have predicted? It's so funny too, because if you had told me 5 years ago, oh, Paul, you're going to do a full-on kirtan bhajan devotional album, mostly in Sanskrit, and by the way, that's after you win a Grammy, I would be like, okay, you're just being mean, and I would have said, okay. And whatever you're smoking, you got to back off of that. I wouldn't have believed it. It's just so amazing the things that happen when we surrender, when we open our hearts. It's so beautiful.
Yes.
I dreamed when I started in New Age that I would maybe even get a Grammy nomination, let alone to win. Was like never even considered that it could happen. So. There's a big change has happened in my thinking and in my vibration, Mm-hmm. I've processed a lot of negativity, a lot of resistance that's, been in our family for generations, and, a lot of limited scarcity thinking, there's not enough, there are not enough Grammys for everybody, whatever. Right? There's not enough Grammys for everyone that really wants one, that would be the analogy, Well, or I'm not worthy of one, because I'm not Enya or something or whatever, so just all kinds of limited thinking. There's a lot of limited thinkings going out the window around here lately.
Well, and as you're talking about this, I do have your loved ones sitting here with me. And they're showing me the big, giant, grand piano that you would normally see in a church. Those big, giant organs.
Oh, yeah.
With the big metal pipes and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like they're saying that, you were playing the tune for a while, but then you got into the chorus, and it's like you came out the actual other end of the pipe yourself. It's like they shot you right up, and they're just saying that.
That's a great analogy, Carrie, because about 6 years ago, I led this committee. I led this whole effort to put a real pipe organ in my little church, because we had this crummy old electric organ for decades, and it was just horrible. And so, we all scrimped and saved and put our forces together, and we got this used pipe organ, a beautiful little Reuter pipe organ that we put in our church, and it's such a sweet instrument. Every time I sing with it, I'm smiling. So it's so funny that you got that pipe organ analogy.
Well, let's see, and here comes the music again, right on cue, right?
Right on cue.
So we'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll be coming back with the weekly message and to tie this conversation up. We'll be back.
Bringing a more conscious lifestyle to your world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Eros Evolution is where sexuality and spirituality meets. Join me, clinical sexologist Martha Tara Lee, on Eros Evolution on Thursdays, 4 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio.
Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Have you bought into the idea that you have to work hard for your money, that business is hard? I will share some dynamic access consciousness tools to get you out of your own way so you can create a business that actually succeeds. Join me, Simone Millisers, on The Joy of Business at 4 p.m. Mondays Eastern.
The best of the holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Welcome back to Vibrate Nation Radio, where today's special guest is Paul Avgerinos, who's a Grammy winner. And as you guys all know who follow me every week, this is the time where we do the weekly message of what Spirit would like you all to know about what's coming up. And it always goes to what we've been talking about. So here you go. Spirit is saying that this week, because of all the retrogrades, again, the universe is saying, stop stressing out. They're saying there's so many people walking around right now that are carrying the world on their back. And most of the stress that they're dealing with right now really isn't even their own stress. It's stresses from other people. So the universe is saying, instead of feeling that your world is a halt, you need to be able to go within, embrace the unknown, and know that everything is in divine order, that you are in the moment, and you are given this week a brand new beginning. This is about that new book, the new book of life we're now walking into. And it comes with regards to connecting with higher self and connecting with spirit, connecting with your God, connecting with love, and knowing that it's time to balance what is going on within. There's a lot of us that are listening right now that the balance is still not there. The masculine and the feminine energy, they're saying, is a little off. And this is causing a lot of impatience with a lot of you. That's why you're stressing out. And they're saying that don't allow the masculine energy to take over, that a lot of the feminine energy is got to come back in this week, because the masculine is being released. But as the masculine is being released, the masculine is taking over, and the feminine is now being guided to come back in. And they're saying this is a brand new beginning. See this as that new yellow brick road, and allow yourself to go in this week and listen to Paul's music. Do know that you can hear all of his music by simply going to his website, what we'll say in a moment, because I'm in channel right now. I'm like, okay, guys, slow down a bit, but you'll be able to find it on my website. So just know that they're saying that this music will help you find the balance within, to balance that masculine energy, to release anything that no longer serves you, so that you can move forward on this new beginning that we're all beginning right now. So how would you like to add to that, Paul?
Oh, it's so very true, Carrie. This is a blessed, special time where the goddess feminine divine, the divine feminine, is rising up very strongly again on this planet, thank God. And it's no coincidence that Jesus has returned in the form of a woman in southern India, a poor black woman who never went to school and is considered below the lowest caste. So, and here she is, spreading love and light and bliss on an unfathomable scale. She's personally hugged 40 million people, and during her birthday celebration, she gave blessings to 500,000 people over a 4-day period. Wow. Personally, she did that 20 hours a day without sleeping. So what she's doing is, and many other wonderful actors are doing, is reminding us how badly the pendulum has swung to the male side, and how we desperately need that balance of the divine feminine, the goddess energy, the intuitive energy, the energy of pure love and pure compassion, acceptance and nurturing, and really loving and serving the way a good mother does. So, you know, it's just so critical, because you can see everywhere the damage done to the world, to our society, the damage to our environment, all the damage done by too much male energy and male focus. And so this rebalancing is critical, and it will save our whole civilization.
Oh, absolutely. And I truly believe the reason why Spirit got me to go in, so like they're like, I can hear right now, I can hear them, they're still here, and I'm like, okay, what's his, and they're going, name his website. So for all of you listening, the website is Round Sky Music. Again, that's Round Sky Music, and you can find that on my Facebook account. You can find it on my personal website, carrieturcott.com, and go in and take a look at all the beautiful albums that he's created. And I believe that with us being together today, this has allowed people to be drawn to your music, Paul, because you and I both know that we've all been lost for so many eons of years, and now we're finding our way back. And now we have an opportunity to find Paul again, to say, oh my gosh, I remember you. I remember those beautiful songs, those beautiful notes, those beautiful tunes you've created in past lives. And now you're bringing that wisdom and knowledge, and you're channeling it through to help people hear in current of what's taking place. So I truly believe that your music is going to help so many people, just because of the energy that you put into it. And, anybody who does energy work understands that it's not easy to do energy work. I mean, I do 1 or 2 readings a day and I'm done. You know?
Yeah.
And it's the same with you. I'm sure you can only do so much. And then it's just kind of like, okay, I've done enough and I need to work on myself again.
Yeah. Well, it's great that we're all working together to uplift this energy and to restore the divine feminine to its rightful place, its goddess place, equal with God, equal co-creators. You know, it's how did we get this out of balance? You know, there's no competition between God and goddess. It's just two sides of the same perfect energy. But it's important to keep it balanced on Earth, because Earth is a place where imbalance seems to love to dwell.
Yes, we've got to let go of the ego, my friends. You know, the big boys that are always there attacking you. It's and I mean, ego can be a beautiful thing when you learn to embrace the ego. And the ego's not going anywhere, and we all know that. So this is about finding balance with ego and using ego in the right way.
Yeah, exactly. AMMA calls it the intellect. You know, intellect is useful when you need to fill out a tax form or something, or you need to drive your car somewhere and not get lost. It's useful, but it's really just a tool. You know, the mind is just a nice tool to help us function in physical reality, and that's very beautiful. But it should not be elevated to the position of, you know, a god, that you worship your intellect, you worship your separateness, your rational thinking, you know, because that's topsy-turvy. Yes. You know, it's not. The mind of God is not contained in the mind of man. It's quite the opposite.
Yes. And, you know, and your music allows the mind. Again, the mind is a beautiful thing when you can shut it off. And I know there's many people right now that can't do that.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point, is to provide a meditative, peaceful music that allows people to let their thoughts slow down and to watch their breath for a while and to sink into a peaceful, blissful meditation, you know, to have that moment of grace where they're not constantly got to do this, got to do that, or I forgot to do that. The monkey mind chattering away drives you crazy. So, yeah, it does.
That's why they're talking about the stress. Don't stress out, people. It's not your stress anyways. It's everyone else's stress. Stop it. Turn off the TV and go inside, you know?
Yeah.
It's, and, you know, again, my friends, we're in this major retrograde that's going on. So you also, we're being guided by the universe to go within, to listen to what's going on within our soul. So again, these shows, as you all know, Vibe Nation Radio goes with the energy flow. I always tap in way beforehand to make sure that every show goes in accordance. And this show is perfect because we are in 5 planets retrograde. And this is about going within and refinding who you are, rebranding who you are, you know, tapping into that wisdom and knowledge that's always been there, but you haven't been able to tap into it because the monkeys have been yapping too much.
That's a wonderful use of the word rebranding, you know, because you hear that all the time for, you know, commercial products. But here's a very, very productive application of rebranding, because it's that incorrect identification that causes all the suffering. You know, thinking that you're separate, thinking that you're this body, that you're so limited and fragile. But then when you rebrand your actual identity, you see, no, I'm not this body. I'm this beautiful spark of divine consciousness that's indestructible and eternal. Then, oh, wow, well, that sure puts your little problems into perspective, you know. And when you live in the physical world, there's always going to be some kinds of problems and difficulties, because that's the nature of duality, you know.
Yes.
Plus and minus, up and down, hot and cold, and all on and on. So, but, you know, when you have that rebranded consciousness, you know, who you really are, who is Paul, who is Carrie at their core, when you have that knowing, you know, not a belief, but a knowing, an inner knowing that you know that you are pure consciousness, you are divine energy. And wow, that's so liberating. You know, it's so liberating. Now I know if I drop dead 5 minutes from now or 30 years from now, it doesn't matter, because I am that which I am. I am that I am.
Yes.
And I'm comfortable in that. So I don't have fear anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Not afraid of dying, not afraid of living.
Yeah.
Because the fear of dying keeps you afraid of really living. People don't do what is really in their hearts because they have too much fear driving the bus.
Yes.
And fear is a horrible thing. It ruins lives, and most of the things we fear never even happen, which makes it even more ironic.
Yeah, you got to love the monkeys. They can create some wonderful things. Come on, come crawl into bed with me and let's talk to Mr. Fear Monster.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds very inviting. Yeah, I'd love to spend all night worrying about things that are never going to happen.
Exactly. And so many people do that, and I think, Paul, we're running out of time, but you and I, we got to come back on the show because there's just so much. And I feel that whatever this new record that you're bringing, the new album, the new music, you have so much to share. And I really want people to realize that, OMTimes Radio is also going to be, the OMTimes Radio Digest is being launched next week. And Paul is actually going to be featured on the cover. And there you're going to learn all kinds of more stuff about Paul in this article that they're writing. But there's so much more to Paul than what we could possibly say in this hour and in this article. So I truly hope you're going to join me again, Paul.
Oh, I'd love that, Carrie. It's just delightful.
And
wonderful.
And know that, like I said, our loved ones, like when you were saying that, the P word, I could hear your mother going, tell them to get rid of the P word. It's an issue, problem, or situation. We've already spoken about this. So Spirit likes to have fun, my friends. Know they're around. And next week, I have a beautiful special guest, my dear soul sister, Christine Lacroix. And the two of us will be back as the Soul Sisters, and we're going to be doing readings live for those that enter the contest. And the contest can be found to enter right on the OMTimes page of Vibe Nation Radio. Enter into the draw, and on Friday, the names will be drawn for the 3 lucky winners, and we'll be doing readings on you live next week. So how cool is that?
Oh, that's great.
For Mother's Day, we're going to bring out the motherly love.
Oh, that's great. That's a wonderful Mother's Day present.
So before we say goodbye, Paul, was there anything, last message you'd like to share with all the listeners?
Oh, just love yourself and be love and be bliss.
Beautiful.